Have you ever realized that when you become closer to God, people are going to try to want to bring you down? And the thing is that the Lord is always watching us, but so is the devil. And Psalm 35 talks exactly about this. Verse 21. Yet they opened their mouth wide against me and said, Aha, aha, our eye had seen it. This thou had seen, O Lord. Keep not thy silence, O Lord, he not far from me. So we have to understand that God, of course, is working in our lives, but so is the devil. Sometimes he sends his workers or people who do wickedness and iniquities. They're more closer to the devil, and they will want to do the will of the devil, not of God. But the thing is, we always have to know that God, he wins in the end, right? So the next line, verse 25, it says, let them not say in their hearts, ah, so we have it. Let them not say, we have swallowed him up. So basically it's just saying David is asking God, yes, like these people are trying to bring me down, but make sure that the wicked people don't rejoice. And we have to understand that wickedness is not going to win at the end. It doesn't matter what happened. Wickedness is never going to win. And the difference between a wicked person and an obedient person who follows God is that Psalm 36 talks about this. It says, the transgressions of the wicked saith within my heart, there is no fear of God before his eyes. For he flattered himself with his own eyes, until his iniquity be found to be hateful. So the difference between an obeying servant who follows God and a wicked person is very simple. The wicked person is not going to fear God, and he's going to flatter himself in his own eyes, and he's going to think that his iniquities are actually good. That's the big difference between the two kinds of people. And the thing is, we all sin, right? So it's not even the sin that separates us, because we're always going to fall. We can't be perfect. We're human. But the wicked person is going to think that he's doing something good, and an obedient person is going to know that what he's doing is upsetting God, and it's not good for their souls. That's the big difference. And another thing that we have to understand is that God, sometimes he doesn't give riches the way that we think he would. People who follow God, they actually get perfect protection against their enemies with his wings. So Psalm 36 verse 7 talks about this. How excellent is thy loving kindness, O God. Therefore the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasures. So the thing is, we might think, oh, like pleasure, so it's kind of like human pleasures, right? But it's different. The pleasures that God gives us, number one is peace, right? It's not the kind of peace that the world can give us. And another important line, verse 9, it says, for with thee is the fountain of life, in thy light we shall see light. So there is a kind of light the world can give us, happiness, but happiness that comes and goes. But the light that God gives us is very, very different. So it's not the kind of light that comes and goes. Yeah, we're going to have bad days. But the kind of light God is going to give us surpasses every kind of all different of worldly lights. And it's not that you're never going to have problems. It's just you're going to know who takes care of them. Psalm 37 talks about, always trusting in the Lord. Verse 1 says, Fret not thyself because of the evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of the iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. So, important thing that it has is it says, trust in the Lord. And what comes with that, when you trust in the Lord, you actually do good. So, when you trust in the Lord, you do good. When you don't trust in the Lord, you are more inclined to do evil things because you don't trust him and you think that you can lean on your own understanding, and that's wrong. You can't. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Verse 4 says, Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of thine heart. So in Psalm 36, we talked about how the pleasures that God gives us and that the world gives us are very different. But Psalm 37 mentions something very, very interesting. It says, Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of thy heart. So here we have to also understand that in order for God to give us the desires of our heart, we have to make sure to protect our hearts. Because if we don't protect our hearts, the desires of our heart is going to be wicked, right? Because everything flows from it, and every good and bad thing is going to flow from it. So in order to God to actually satisfy this need, and this need to be good for us, because he doesn't want to give us something that's not going to be good for us. As any father, he doesn't want to give you bad things that are bad for you, harming anything. He doesn't want to give us that. Sometimes he does allow certain things into our lives so we can understand that they're not good for us. But in general, he wants us to learn and to understand that whatever world gives us, whatever it is, it's not going to be better than what he offers us. Verse 5 says, Commit thy way into the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. So that's another thing about trusting the Lord. We as people, we always want to have some kind of certainty, and we always want to try to measure things, calculate it, make sure everything goes well. But we have to commit our ways into the Lord and trust that he will bring it to pass. So not only give our ways to the Lord, but also trust in him. Because we can give it up in a kind of way that we allow God to work in it, but then we won't trust him because we think that because of this uncertainty, everything is going wrong. But that's not the right way to think about it, because God already has everything planned out. All we have to do is commit our ways into the Lord and delight in him, and he's going to give us the desires of our heart, and he will bring it to pass whatever issue you have. Let's remember that. Amen, and God bless you.